Hey guys, in this episode of Midnight Garage, I just want to talk about choppers. Hey, so it's Sunday night. I was just out here tinkering on my bike. Was having some really hard starting issues with this one mid-summer. So I just thought, whatever, it's November, but I just thought I'd come out and play with it, something to do. And it just kind of made me think of something that's kind of always been on my mind the last few years. And what I want to talk about is the difference between a chopper and what everyone's referring to now as a bobber. I don't know why that term bugs me, but it's just kind of an annoying, in my opinion, new term. I kind of remember in the 90s when that people started using it, but you know, everyone's got a different opinion of what constitutes a chopper over a bobber. Now, some guys, from what I've seen on the old interwebs and whatever, will say what makes one of these bikes actually a chopper is if you've got a chopped neck. So a chopped and raked neck. So to rake the angle of the front end. So in this case, on my bike, is this a chopper? It's got a raked neck, but it doesn't have a raked neck. See, this is like a 70s Paco frame, so it's an aftermarket frame. So this frame wasn't raked, this frame was made this way. So, anyway, we'll get into that in a minute. Take you guys for a quick tour of this thing. I think I've showed it to you before, but you know, this bike, I can't say I built it, I guess, but when I bought this, 22, 23 years ago, it was a guy's unfinished project. So realistically, I mean, I took it down and I made everything how I wanted it, and you know, made a bunch of bits and pieces and painted it, obviously. And I mean, whatever. I didn't really build the bike. I'm not a bike builder, I guess. But it was my main ride for many years until I bought a little bit newer one a few years back. But this will always be my favorite. If you are not a motorcycle guy, you're not really in tune with these things, then so what this is a engine transmission or 1975 Harley Davidson FLH motor and transmission. So they're a shovel head engine. It's a ratchet top 4-speed transmission. This is the later model shovel head. So shovel head engines for like 68 to 85 or 84, I should say. The early ones were generator bottom, or where they had the kidney-shaped cam cover. This is a later one, so this is an alternator bottom end. So it's what's referred to as a cone shovel. This is a 74 cubic inch shovel head. So that's, what was that, 3 7/16 bore, 4-inch stroke, if I remember correctly. So a little later on, I'm no expert, I'm just winging it here, but late 70s, I don't remember the year, they upped the displacement to 80-inch in the shovel head. And that, I remember reading years ago, that was something to do with the changes in the gasoline at the time. Add a few cubic inches to make up for the bad gas. So the 80-inch, they went up to, that was a 3.5-inch bore, 4.25-inch stroke, I believe. So that 80-inch, that carried on into the next generation of engines, which was Harley Davidson Evolution engine. That's what this one is. This is an 80-inch Evolution. Some guys called it the blockhead back in the day. So, yeah. So this particular bike, this is my 98 Dyna. 1998 was the last year of the Evolution engine, save for, I think they still put the Evo in the Softails in 99, but this is a Dyna chassis, different bike. After that, after 99, Harley Davidson, they shut down, they locked the doors, they didn't make motorcycles anymore. Imagine that. Sorry, twin cam guys, I'm just not there yet. I'm old enough that Evos were still a new thing when I got into bikes. You know, I remember all the old guys with shovel heads said they'd never ride an Evolution. They'd ride shovel heads forever. And I'm kind of stuck on these old bikes too. The twin cams just sound funny to me. I just don't really care for them that much. I know they're a good engine, but I'm just kidding around. So yeah, so that's my 98 Dyna. This is my wife's 2000 Sportster. So this is a 74-inch Sportster, so it's a 1200cc Sportster. This one we bought it, and it was actually a rack at one time, and I bought it and kind of mildly customized it for her. Made a cool little bike. It's a blast, this thing. It's fast, it's fun to ride. Again, if you're not a bike guy, the quickest way to tell if you're looking at a Sportster engine, I mean the V-twin engine looks like an Evolution engine, but with the Sportster, they are a unit construction engine, so engine and transmission are all built into the same case. Where like a big twin Harley Davidson, your engine and transmission are two completely separate pieces. In the case of the Dyna, so these are a rubber mounted engine and transmission. So while these are separate, they are bolted together. They're kind of bolted together as a unit. So anyway, yeah, I bought this one I guess I've had this bike probably 10 years now, but I consider this one like a minivan. It's, comfortable and reliable and, I don't know, boring. I mean, I like it, but it just has no soul compared to riding a chopper. You know, whether you like Harleys, don't like Harleys, like sport bikes, whatever, I mean, I don't care what you like. I just think, to me, I would rather drive a 68 Chevelle with a big block 4-speed over a Ferrari. And to me, this is a 68 Chevelle big block 4-speed, where, the Ferrari is more like a sport bike. Like, they're just totally different things. I like the big sound and the big torque of the big V-twin Harleys. But that's just me. We all like what we like. But anyway, back to my rambling about bobbers and choppers and customs. And now, when I put this bike together, it kind of had a lot of the main components that I wanted for what I consider to be a true old school classic chopper. The rigid frame, foot clutch, open primary, kickstart. This thing is drum brakes. It's got a hydraulic drum in the rear, mechanical drum in the front. This was a 58-ish front end. And so now in this frame, I believe it's like a 70s Paco chopper frame. You can tell it's an old one because it's got a drum brake anchor. Of course, if they got into more modern stuff, they would have been set up for a disc brake. But now you guys tell me in the comments, is that a chopper? Is it a custom? Don't call it a freaking bobber. And these bikes, I mean, this is a bone stock Harley Dyna, the exception of the little fairing I put on it, and it's got a Super E carburetor and a 2-into-1 pipe, but it's a stock 80-inch. And that's the other thing with the newer Harley guys. I mean, I know a lot of the young guys. I mean, all they've ever known is twin cams because that's what there was. But I mean, all that stage stuff. Oh, it's a stage 2 and a stage 3 and a stage 37. I don't know what the hell that means. I guess I've turned into one of those old timers that, I mean, tell me what the displacement, the bore and stroke, what lift to cam you've got in it. You know, that kind of tells my brain what kind of performance you're making. You tell me you've got a stage 3, does that mean you took it to the Harley shop 3 times and paid them to work on it? I don't know. I mean, my generation, I mean, I'm not that old, I'm 49. I bought my first Harley when I was 19, so it's 30 years ago. But I mean, even still then, I mean, and I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you got to build your own bike to be a biker. But I mean, we all had our own bikes. We all worked on our own bikes. We all modified our own bikes. I mean, I put this thing together with really no money. I mean, I was a young guy probably making $12 an hour in a body shop back then. Well, maybe a little more by the time I built this bike, but my first bike anyway. I know it's all very different now. We just go and finance stuff. It seems like guys now, they're just like a commodity. It's like, you know, oh, you know, kid on the way, bike for sale. What the hell's that got to do with your motorcycle? You know, when we were coming up, our bikes weren't a commodity. Our bike was our bike. It's something that stays with you through thick and thin. So it's the last thing that would ever get sold off if times get tough. I mean, I'm still just a average working Joe scraping out a living in my little body shop here. I've never made a lot of money, but I've managed to hold on to this stuff. You know, I've got a couple of cars and a couple of bikes, and, you know, nothing of any great value, but anyway. Rambling. Let me know. I want you guys to comment about the bobber chopper custom thing. Like, if you really want to split hairs, is this bike a chopper? The neck isn't chopped. This was a custom frame. This is how that frame came. So is it a chopper? Or is it a custom? You know, if you really want to split hairs, I'd say it's a custom. But I don't say that. It's a chopper. You know, is that bike custom? Well, it's mildly customized. I did a few things to it. But I mean, it's like, you know, cut down the back fender and changed handlebars and, you know, did a paint job and, you know, different seats. It was just mildly customized to suit what we were after. Same thing with this bike. It's pretty much a stock bike. Actually, this is original paint, other than the fairing, from 1998, so she's held up pretty good. This bike's got, about 85,000 kilometers on it. What's that? A little over 50,000 miles for you American guys that don't understand our kilometers. It's okay, we don't understand them either. So anyway, decided I'd make a little video, ramble on while I got motorcycles on my mind. I'm going to continue tinkering around. I gave this thing a few kicks and she's not happy. I'm thinking it's electrical. Probably just a bad connection. It ran great for the first half of the summer I rode it this year, but I don't ride this bike much anymore. But it was starting good, ran fantastic, but then it just got really hard starting, so I actually transferred my insurance onto this one, rode it for a while. But that's fine, I like getting them both out anyway. But this will always be my favorite. And it might just be all the ignition systems getting tired. I mean, this is this Dyna S electronic ignition. It's been in here for, 20 plus years. The coil, 20 plus years. I put some new plugs and stuff in it this year, but I mean, that only goes so far. Actually, even these plug wires are probably 20 plus years old. So she's probably just due for some refreshing. But anyway, guys, excuse my rambling. Like I say, I'm no expert on anything, just talking about bikes. Thought it might start a discussion over, like I say, the definition thing that everyone's got their own. I guess everyone has their own, the word I'm looking for, belief of what they think is a chopper, what they think is a bobber. Like I still think, even back, guys coming home from the war with the those old 45-inch Harleys and cutting off the fenders and chopping them down, that was to make them lighter, make them go faster. I mean, guys will call that a bobber because they weren't cutting the neck. To me, that's still a chopper. They were chopping stuff off. I mean, the easiest way to make anything, whether it's a car or a motorcycle, whatever, go faster, stop better, handle better, is to make it lighter. So you cut stuff off. I mean, I believe that originally the aesthetic of a chopper, the look, was just a byproduct of cutting them down to be lighter and faster. That's where the chopper came about, man. And unfortunately nowadays, I think when you say chopper, I mean, some of the younger generation, their mind goes right to those stupid TV shows that were on, I don't know, that Orange County stuff where they were building all those silly bikes. I never consider any of those bikes choppers. They were advertising. They were just silly custom things. I mean, you can't tell me that Acme Garage Doors wanted a chopper built with a fucking gas tank that looked like garage doors. That was just advertising. It was a popular TV show. Those big companies, insurance companies, whatever, wanting a chopper built. No, man, they were just getting their name on this popular TV show. They didn't give a shit about a motorcycle. It was just advertising. I mean, good on them. Like, those dudes made a crap ton of money. Don't get me wrong. If Acme Garage Doors came around here and said, hey, build me a chopper or build me a hot rod, would that be selling out? Maybe. I'd do it. Hey, we're all just scratching to make a living. Anyway, guys, sorry if I rambled on too long. Give me your thoughts on this subject, and maybe we'll revisit this. And yeah, do some more chopper videos. I was honestly hoping to do a really good long ride video this year, but yeah, it just didn't happen. I mean, now it's November, and where I live, we're full on winter now, so motorcycles ain't happening. So now it's working on motorcycles time. Anyway, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. And come back to the channel if you're interested in auto body related stuff, because that's what I usually do, but just have motorcycles on my mind right now. Thanks again, guys. See you next time.